Morning, Steve Freed in Chicago with the morning grain comments. Well, overnight, much of the Midwest from Nebraska across Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, and most of Illinois saw some pretty good rain showers activity. So these rains are timely to help bean crops. Probably a little late to help the corn, but certainly could be adding to some of the uncertainty of what the final U.S. corn and soybean yields are going to be. Overnight prices are unchanged to a little bit higher. Yesterday funds were big sellers of wheat, beans, meal, oil, and buyers of corn. It's interesting that soybean prices and wheat prices are near their season lows, while corn is actually making a 1 week high. So I think it's a matter of farmers not selling the corn, and in the bean and wheat markets, we're still looking at global prices below those values, and wheat and soybeans may be trying to find a price that encourages demand, especially after the USDA showed a bigger soybean carryout here in the United States than expected in their August numbers. As far as the Pro Farmer Crop Tour, they've got a few state yields out. They started in Ohio with a corn yield of 148. The government's 168. In Indiana, they said 143 versus 158 by the USDA, and that's kind of in line with some of the farmer talk, more than what the USDA had said. Out west, they found South Dakota at 166 versus the USDA 160, and again, that South Dakota crop could be one of the better ones they've ever had. A little bit of a surprise in Nebraska. They lowballed it at 165 versus USDA 187. I think a lot of farmers or merchandisers would say Nebraska corn probably going to do better than what the Pro Farmer Tour said. The big unknown is what they're going to say for Minnesota, Iowa, and Illinois. And trade will be watching to see what they say there. I drove down to central Illinois yesterday and back, and certainly the corn crop is hit or miss, showing signs of those early rains in June taking away some of the nitrogen and potential yield. We had two private estimates of tours yesterday in Illinois, and what was interesting in central Illinois, they found 10% less corn yields than a year ago, but a year ago was a record high. So this is the second highest corn yield that they've shown in their history. Farmers in general not selling corn at these price levels, so that could be an issue down the road for whether it's basis or futures. Weather-wise, as I mentioned, good rains across the Midwest. The 6 to 10 day looks drier and warmer. The next 5 days, rains are going to be favoring Minnesota, western Iowa, and the Delta. Traditional funds yesterday, as I said, net sellers, they're long 47,000 beans, 106,000 corn, and short now 16,000 wheat. Still watching the outside markets. China's stock market started out lower, then came back and rallied. Maybe that's helping a little bit in the commodity markets. As always, these are my thoughts and not those of ADM or ADM Investor Services, and have a safe and profitable trading day.